Welcome back. Today we're going to look at a tutorial on moving blocks or bad guys across the screen so you can avoid them. First thing we need to do is we need to create ourselves a bad guy. So let's just use a block. R for rectangle. Create myself a little block. V for my selection tool. I'm going to convert it to a symbol. It doesn't really matter what I call it. But the important thing is under the Advanced tab, okay, you do the drop down arrow, and under ActionScript linkage, you want to export for ActionScript. Thereby, it'll create its own class. Now, as long as we spell this name correctly, all of our code should work. And Flash is going to ask us, do we want to create one on our exporting? Why, yes, we do. We want to create a class. So now I'm just going to edit my block. So I will, okay, B for brush. Let's go with a different color. Just going to animate him a little bit. Maybe I'll give him some blue antennae. I don't know. Just some different. Maybe some eyes. Scroll down. There we go. So it's nice and angular looking. Okay, now that we have that, the next thing we need to do is we need to go on to D2L and find our code that allows us to do movement. So we can go through our code and we have blocks going from the top down, hit test symbol, blocks moving across the screen. So let's try that one. I have previously opened it. So if I scroll to the very top, it says this code is for the main timeline within your main function. Well, it starts off with a 4 and it goes down to a hit test. So what I need to do is I need to first establish that I have a main function. So under scene 1, timeline, actions, I'm going to type in all I need to do to have an instance, not an instance. Let's go this way. Backspace, backspace. Current option plus. There we go. Stage dot add. Scroll back over. Add event. There we go. It's going to be an event dot enter frame, comma. I'll call this collide. Sure, doesn't really matter. Function collide. Oops, no bracket. Function collide, open bracket, event, open curly brace, close curly brace. Now you'll notice that the event here is all in blacks, or black character. I could have typed in whatever I wanted to. Ronald if I wanted to. As long as I refer to Ronald as being the type for this event, it'll work just fine, but I can't use event with a lowercase e because it'll turn blue. So just for the sake of continuity, I'll use EVT. And there, I have this defined. Notice I have 2 curly braces already here. Okay, now this is actually kind of important because, let's get out of here a little bit. Because in our Word document, it actually says within your main function. So I'm going to select all of this stuff. Command C to copy, or I can just right click and go copy there. Okay, go back into my Flash. And now that I actually have a function, I can go and paste it. Now if everything worked out, I should be able to just take my formatting code and align it, and there we go. Okay, now if I read my code, I have this guy right here which says if get child at I is block. So I've already named my character block with my linkage name as block. Now I need to have something to collide with called player. Okay, so that's going to be my next step. So I'm going to make a player. So I will just take a circle and different color and make a player out of it. Let's go green because we don't have green. O for oval. It is an object. That's okay. Select it. Right click, convert to symbol. Player. Doesn't need to be exported for ActionScript because we're going to be controlling it manually. Go into properties. Give it an instance name of player. So that way it matches my code. And on we go. Now if I want to move this to code snippets, select my action script, animation, and move with keyboard arrows. Double click, and there we go. So now when I go back to my main timeline, I have my actions, which is my code snippets, and my layer 1, which is what I have created. So if I run my program, oh, I have a syntax error. Let's check that out. Line 16, actions. Line 16 says, this happens quite often. When you have a trace statement, typically your quotation marks go green. So if I just retype hit with quotation marks, because it's in Flash, don't ask me why, it won't have the little curly bumplies at the top and bottom of the objects. So when I run my program, okay, so this guy can move. And if I collide with my bad guy, it says hit, so that works. But we have a problem. It does not like that my block is not moving. So let's see what we can do with that. If it is a block, library, is it a block? Yes, it is. If B hits with my player, yes, it does. So let me check into here. I missed a step. Block. Okay. Now I go back into my Word document. Because this code is for the main timeline, if we scroll down, there's actually more to this document. Haha, silly me. You scroll down, it says this code is for the block timeline that is embedded. So now we see the event listener is right here. Right there. So I don't have to do anything. Because these are codes, I can just copy everything. Okay. Command C, go back into my Flash, come back here, Command V to paste it, align my code, it aligns nicely, I run my program. Now I can move both my hero and my bad guy moves randomly with me. And if I hit him accidentally, oops, I got hit. And that's where you'd put in your score. Okay, to adapt this to whatever it is you want to do, what you could do is you could drag out another block and position him randomly. Oops, right, it can't be inside of himself. Go back to scene 1, put a block out, say here. So now, this block and this block will always have roughly that amount of space between the two of them. If I run my program, I have enough space I can dodge between them. Now the first block is going to reappear. Now the second block is going to respawn. And now the first block is going to respawn again. Now the second block is going to go through. There we go. And you can always do that with 3, 4, however many blocks you wanted to, because it'll always go across the screen exactly how you coded it. Well, that is how you use the tutorial that's on D2L, the extra code. Hopefully you were in class so you can understand exactly what the code does and how it affects your game. And we'll see you next time.